Hey there. Welcome to another episode 2G1C. Here with my buddy Chuck. How's it going, buddy?
It's going, man. It's going. It's been a trying last couple of days of my life, but it's going. It's getting better. I'm hoping.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good, I guess. It's getting better. That's always a fucking good thing. It could always be worse.
Oh, it's gonna be much worse.
Right.
Correct.
At least you didn't have to watch like paranoia tapes or some bullshit like that.
Oh, I wouldn't be caught dead watching paranoia tapes.
Right. So anyways, I guess before we get too into this and everything, there's definitely some things that we want to share. And hey Rob, dude, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Definitely appreciate you viewing, man. You're a good guy. Me and Rob's actually got to talk a few times, man. He's quite the Tales from the Crypt fan himself, man. So I'm kind of interested on what he's going to think of some of our horror movie reviews. That's for sure.
Yeah, for real.
But anyways, before I get into everything and introduce our guest for this week, good friend of the show, Tony Covington, or better known as Hack from Hack's Horror Show, is going to be hosting a pretty fucking cool event. So I'm definitely going to air the little promo video for that for everybody. So check it out. And if you're in the area, go check out Hack. He's a fucking great dude. And see what he's all about.
Madcap 3 Entertainment presents FrankenCon. On Saturday, May 14th, Joe Bob is back in town, and he's bringing Darcy the Mail Girl with him. And it's a Nightmare on Elm Street 2 reunion, as the Scream Queen himself, Mark Patton, will be on hand, along with Nightmare 2 and Hellraiser Bloodline star Kim Myers, and Nightmare 2, Alone in the Dark, and Wishmaster 2 director Jack Shoulder will all be in attendance. Along with Texas Chainsaw Massacre star John Dugan, aka Grandpa. As well as the rare appearance by Pumpkinhead, Society, and Silent Night Deadly Night Part 5 star Brian Brimmer. And get ready to rock with the horror band The Casket Creatures. And last but not least, Nigel Bach, Bad Ben franchise director and actor, will be gracing us with his presence. FrankenCon takes place on Saturday, May 14th at the Hilton Knoxville Airport on 2001 Alcoa Highway, Alcoa, Tennessee. VIP and general admission tickets on sale now at FrankenConTN.com. VIP tickets are limited and going fast and include activities like a full screening of Nightmare 2 with the live cast commentary. For more info on prices and activities, visit us on Facebook or Instagram at FrankenConTN or on FrankenConTN.com. See you on Saturday, May 14th for the first annual FrankenCon. Card subject to change.
So I'm pretty excited for that for him, man. He's going to be able to meet some pretty fucking cool people there, that's for sure.
Hell yeah, looks like a good time.
Oh, yeah, definitely, dude. So I guess let's go ahead and get into it for this week, man. We got a new guest this week. Somebody I recently met, kind of clicked with pretty fast, man. He's seemed like he's into a lot of the same kind of films that we are, and he's one half of the Skewered Universe Podcast. Let's go ahead and introduce our new friend, Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
What's up, man?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going pretty well, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Can't complain. Glad to be here. Excited. My first time ever being on something live, so hopefully I don't fucking crash and burn. But we'll see what happens.
If we haven't yet, why would you?
Right. I highly doubt that's going to be an issue whatsoever, man. I think you'll be completely fine. That's for sure. So,
Yeah, man.
anyways, man, first off, let me go ahead and just start off to everybody. If you're checking this out live, all of Jeff's links are set there scrolling around at the bottom. They're going to be in the show notes and they're going to be posted throughout the entire show. So, I mean, go check him out. He's I'm trying to think of the best way to describe how you do podcasting. I will say that it's different, but once you get used to it, it's addicting to listen to. How would you describe
I'm
the
glad
way
to
that
hear
you
that.
do it?
Well, we do. See, here I go. I'm stumbling over my words. I'm trying to think. It's live. That's me. That little Sid Vicious promo. Can we cut it? No, we're live, pal. Sorry,
Fuck it,
I'm a
we're
wrestling
live.
nerd as well.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
So basically, we have two ways of doing it. We'll do a standard review where we'll watch something and then come review it. But the way we typically approach things is we break down the movie into segments, and then it's sort of like stream of consciousness when we come back from watching that, kind of give our real-time thoughts as to what's happening. And it kind of makes it a little more fun to watch the movie, because then we're like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. But you never know. We could be 1 minute like, I'm really liking this, and the next minute we can be like, this is a fucking piece of shit. The way it turned right here, goddamn fucking, you know. So I curse a lot as well. So
That's okay. So do we.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
we try to
dude.
just
You're
bring
completely
something
fine.
different, because everyone does your kind of, here's a synopsis, here's a breakdown, here's who's in it, here's the director. You know, a lot of them are format by the numbers, so we try to do something a little different to break it up. And I'm glad you said that once you get used to it, it's kind of addictive, because we have a lot of fun doing it that way. 'Cause sometimes, you know, I'll bring something to the table that Leanne has never seen, who is my co-host and wife, or she'll bring something to the table I haven't seen, such as the 70s film The Baby, which I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
I've never seen it. I have heard of it though. It looks horrifying.
I say check it out if you like weird 70s semi-exploitation horror cinema. It's definitely one to check out, or at least check off the list so you can be like, yeah, I've seen it.
Gotcha.
Interesting, that's for sure. I'm definitely down for checking that out. That's for sure. So, I will say, man, I am very happy I got the chance to meet you. I am really happy I was able to check out a lot of the stuff that you're doing, and oh man, we got somebody in here, Josh Thorpe. He goes, "Hello, I'm sharing this with my page, Horror Hub. Thank you, man. Greatly appreciated that." And he says, "Nothing is as bad as a Serbian film."
Oh God, no.
Now,
I have
Josh,
stayed away.
I will put you to the test on this one because I know one worse. Check out Aftermath.
That's worse than Serbian film.
Have you ever seen it?
I have never seen Serbian film. I know about Serbian film, and Aftermath I've never seen. So I'm just kind of like,
Well, Serbian film, everything's implied. They're like, you don't really see anything, and I
but they're
understand the
still.
gore of it and everything, where you know the nastiness of it. But Aftermath is a 45-minute black and white, not a lot of dialogue movie, and literally 40 minutes of it is this guy fucking a corpse.
That's not that bad.
Oh, but he takes
See what I've
her
heard.
apart and does it, and it's pretty bad.
See, now that sounds like something that I wish I wrote, but I've heard about Serbian film and stuff.
I wish I wrote that.
Yeah, I wish that was my story for the
There's a
comic
part
book.
of me that thinks I've seen a Serbian film, and then there's a part of me saying, no, you just heard a review.
From what I hear, I don't think that
maybe
you'd be
I'm
able to
lucky.
forget it.
Maybe my brain is trying to save me the trauma of having seen it. I don't know, but I don't want to
It
go
very
watch
well
it and
could
find
be.
out, but
Well,
Who knows?
I don't know. It's not like I said, it's horrible, the premise of it and everything, but realistically, when you really break it down, they're not really showing any of the stuff that's on there.
yeah.
So it
It's
just
not-
is what it is.
But sometimes that's worse because then your mind is the director, and that sucks sometimes.
Right. Ron
Yeah,
says,
when there's stuff
Threads
that's
always
just
makes my
implied,
brain all gooey and
goes,
shitty feeling. Let's see here. Josh is also, I stopped at the newborn porn scene. Understandable.
Oh God, can we
And
get off
you would
Serbian
never
film?
forget.
I think the farthest I've gone is Martyrs. That's the original, not the remake. I'm not watching it.
Both of those aren't bad though. Those are pretty fucked
No,
up, but they're good ones.
Good movies. Rob says, "What is Human Centipede considered?" I'd
A good
say
movie.
That is considered highbrow
considered.
art.
The first one is fine. The second one is batshit, and I'd say the third one. I mean, if you're that far in and you watch the first two, you might as well round it out as a trilogy.
I couldn't finish the third one. Could not finish it. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I didn't.
It was so bad that I got through the whole thing.
Right. I'll say the first one messed with me a little bit because of when it came out and I was a little bit younger. And it's like, all right, this is definitely disturbing and you can kind of see it happening. The second one is one of those movies where it's like,
You feel dirty watching it.
this could really happen just like this. There could really be somebody this demented out there obsessed with the Tom Six film.
Yeah.
And I can see the second one really happen. The third one kind of like crosses this weird border with me, at least, of like horror comedy. So it's like a little bit of gore and a lot of comedy mixed in with it.
Love the first one though. The first one's my favorite.
I will say,
First one I do.
unfortunately, I think those movies kind of fucked up Tom Six in a way because he's having a lot of trouble getting distribution for his last film, but he put out a trailer of it too, and the trailer is literally a bunch of older women masturbating to 9/11 happening on screen.
It's a shame you don't have it. We can just pull it up. Just show it.
The Ohanian Club? You want me to see if I can find it real quick while we're talking?
Yeah, sure.
We've gone down this rabbit hole, might as well, right? I mean,
Exactly.
It could be much worse, guys. It could be much worse. That's for sure.
When I first watched Human Centipede, though, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, this is gonna be fucked up, blah blah, and it was creepy as fuck to me, and that it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I mean, when they're feeding, and then you know what happens after you eat happens, and they're all shitting in their mouths. Feed her.
It's more the fact that you're thinking about the process than actually seeing it, because there's not too much gore in the film. It's more just this crazy person sewing these people together because this is what he wants to do.
Right.
It's a weird life goal to have. It really is. I don't.
You guys are interested a little bit. Here is the trailer for the movie that Tom Six is having trouble getting distribution with.
Okay.
I should have been so happy. I had it all. But I had this terrible secret. Come here. What happened with Mike? He was in a really bad accident. He lost his leg. I'm sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. Hannah!
I formed the Onania Club. I'd like to join.
What do you do at these meetings?
It's exciting.
What are you doing?
You won't be able to come again. I'm completely dried up.
I don't want to be a part of this.
The only way you're leaving this house is in a body bag.
I think this is a different one than
Come.
I watched first time. He might have been trying to get it done differently because the first time it was 9/11 in there. Well,
Yeah,
you
I
can
watched
see
that
how
one.
it could fit in there. Yeah, you saw
Yeah.
that one. I showed you it, I think.
Shh. I mean, I can't help but to be intrigued. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you ever go and check out what Tom Six has going on like his Twitter and stuff, you'll actually see that he's really upset that he can't get distribution for that. Which I don't know, in a fucked up way, it's like that is kind of funny in a way that he's actually surprised that he can't get the distribution for it, but it could be much worse.
It's an interesting premise. I think it's a good story plot.
Then David's here. Feed her sounds like Feed Me from Little Shop of Horrors. I think that one's getting a remake too. I'm pretty sure I saw that Ron Oliver was doing some of the script writing with it, which I don't know if you guys know who he is or anything, but I'm a huge Ron Oliver fan from back in like his Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark days. He directed a lot of that, and
Okay.
I mean, dude's just fucking. He's a great writer and director. And we got Jason chiming in. Crazy Mofo is back from the dead. What's good in the horror hood? Well, you just saw it, buddy. Josh, what the fuck?
Oh,
What the
man.
fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? See and come. Yeah, it's definitely crazy there. And we got Ron. What the hell was that? Doesn't look like anything worth anyone's damn.
I don't know, man. I like women masturbating to weird shit, I guess.
I will say that if that movie gets released, I'll watch it. I can't.
Oh,
say
yeah,
for
yeah.
Everybody else on here.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
I'll totally watch
watch
it.
Out of morbid curiosity, I'd want to see what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
I think America needs to see this movie. I really do. I think it's needed.
Jason says breeding farm is fucking nuts. Watch it. It's way worse. Oh yeah, we were already talking about some that are pretty bad. And Josh says yes, it's getting a redo, and they're going to keep it a musical. I think he's talking about the Little Shop
Shop of Horrors.
You would have to keep that one a musical for sure.
I would like to see it not be a musical.
Really?
Yeah. I
don't
would like to
know.
actually see it be like a really fucked up movie. I mean, a little darker. I mean, I still love that movie. Don't get me wrong, but
I like the musical aspect of it personally.
some of the songs are
think
I
catchy.
like both. I've seen the original, and of course, I grew up watching the musical because it was always around. But
Right.
I mean, the first one is just goofy, old, 50s sci-fi horror. The musical is great, but I mean, if they do it as a musical, fine. If not, something a little darker, a little more,
Yeah.
I don't know, post
It would be cool, I guess.
that ends with sort of what the original musical had. The ending of the plants taking over would be kind of cool to see come to fruition finally. But
Yeah.
Right.
I'll
That's for sure.
I'll tell you, the musical, though, made me look at Steve Martin in a different light. It's like, God, he can play a bad guy.
Well,
What did I ever do to you?
isn't it weird? Like anytime you see like somebody that you really like, and then you see the point when they could actually do that. Like,
Oh, yeah, I love that.
like for me, the one that always, and it's still like when I think about it, just shocked the hell out of me is like John Lithgow and Dexter. Me growing up watching Third Rock from the Sun,
Yeah.
and then seeing him in Dexter, it was like, what the fuck happened?
Oh,
But
yeah.
then,
Yeah.
you realize it's like, wow, his acting abilities are way better than I thought.
Yeah.
But
he's good. I mean,
oh yeah,
if,
definitely.
for me, he was the dad growing up. He was the dad in Harry and the Andersons growing up, and then I see a movie like Raising Cain, and I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell? And
That's a
then you
good
see
one.
Dexter, which I'll die on this hill. Season 4 of Dexter is where everyone should just stop watching if you're going back through the original. That's kind of the peak. Everything after that, it just goes downhill.
Yeah, it kind of does.
The
The new one's good.
I personally
I haven't
thought
seen the new
season
one yet.
3 was the peak. I thought season 3 it got really good, and I think the decline probably happened like midway through season 5 personally. But that's my own opinion on it. I also didn't mind the New Blood version that they did.
Yeah, that's what I was. I love it. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I haven't had a
didn't
chance
think
to
they
check
did-
it out, but I've heard good things, so eventually I'll get around to it.
Right.
Yeah, man, check that shit out.
Right. And Rob says, I'd watch it over Karen. I think he's talking about the Tom Six film. And we got this person commenting, and I have no idea what you're saying, buddy, but I appreciate you viewing. So,
Okay. Hey,
That was random as fuck.
Josh is saying that, did you hear Jonathan Landis' son is remaking his father's movie? I was reading, comingsoon.net. I don't know how reliable comingsoon.net is. I've heard some things there, but that's interesting still. And Ron says Lithgow was terrifying in Third Rock from the Sun. Well, he did play an alien. Aliens can be scary.
It's true.
yeah,
It's true.
Anyways, guys, we're here to talk about a movie from 2019. A remake at that, which may I first start off by saying, with most remakes out there, I can personally say that I think the original 99% of the time is usually better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of what reasoning that may be, that's just usually how it is. But you'll have to wait and see what we actually thought about this one. So anyways, to give a synopsis of this film, because this movie did come out in 2019. We don't want to ruin it for people. It is available to stream. You can get watch it on the Showtime app, and I'm pretty sure it's just on video on demand. You could probably rent it anywhere, or you could probably even go and buy the Blu-ray or DVD. I mean, it's a pretty
worth it.
easily found movie. You're not supposed to give away what you thought of the movie yet, Chuck.
Damn it. Well, I guess that's it. I guess we're all going to pack up and go home now.
And we're done. No.
Yeah.
Thanks,
My bad.
Jeff.
Fuck.
No. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. No. So, anyways, this movie is 2019's Rabid. And the synopsis of this film is: the quiet Rose works in women's fashion clothing. Hoping to be a designer, a traffic accident damages her face. She gets experimental stem cell treatment, leaving her stronger and prettier than ever. But there's a side effect. And oh, is there. This movie was directed and well,
you read that really nicely, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I try. I do try. This movie was directed by the Soska twins, Jen and Sylvia Soska. Probably most famous for American Mary.
I like that movie a lot.
That's far from like everything that they've done, though. I mean, they've done quite a bit of shit. They were Dead Hookers in a Trunk, See No Evil 2. So if you're a wrestling fan, obviously you've seen some of their stuff that they've done.
Two's better than one,
right? Vendetta, Give It Up, Kill Crazy Nymphos Attack, ABC's of Death 2. They did the T is for torture porn. So I mean, these women have definitely gotten around in the horror industry. Everything that you really look up about what they've done and what they've worked on has been horror, and that's definitely a plus for me personally. I will say that the first film I ever saw from them was American Mary, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really fucking well done movie. In fact, I had no idea who the hell the Soska twins were. I don't think I actually really grasped who they were until I saw them on the show Elevator, which was like a reality-based horror show, and it had a fun premise and everything.
I've seen that.
Unfortunately, short-lived, but it was still a really, really cool show. It's one of those few reality type shows where it's like, man, I really wish they'd bring that one back. With all the fucking bullshit that's out there nowadays, why can't I have at least one good horror-based one?
Truth.
This was written by John Surge, Jen Soska, and Sylvia Soska. Obviously, this was you would have to give some kind of a credit though to Cronenberg for the original, at least for the plot of this film. I will say it's fairly loose, is what I would say. But let's see, we got Laura Vandervoort, this is Rose, Benjamin Hollingsworth as Brad. I mean, there's quite a few, people in this. I think one of Ron's favorite men in the world, CM Punk.
I saw that he was in that.
Yeah. But anyways, let's see here. David's chiming in. David Cronenberg, who directed the original, also did the 80s remake of The Fly. There seems to be many directors who have directed remakes of old movies, like Brian De Palma, who directed the remake of Scarface, and John Carpenter, who directed The Thing and Village of the Damned. Yeah, that's for sure. I personally think that, and we'll get to this later about this movie, but I think that the remake of The Fly is better than the original. I will throw that out there right away.
I'll second that.
I stand with you on that one.
Right, and I mean, like by a long shot. That's what I think. So, anyways,
I like the first Fly, but Cronenberg's take on it is so much more messed up.
Way fucking better.
Body horror.
Right. This movie actually, I don't know if you guys noticed it because it's just a short cameo, but Sylvia and Jen Soska are actually in this movie too.
I did see them.
So that's always a cool take too. Yeah, it's always cool when you know that the twins in any other movie is going to be them. So, anyways, pretty basic synopsis. Now, just curious, Jeff. I know Chuck, you have. But Jeff, have you seen the original Rabid?
I have. I saw it a couple years ago for the first time.
All right. So, I do want to talk a little bit because there are some pretty big differences in this movie compared to the original. So, like, the whole fashion designers part is not really even part of the original whatsoever. In fact, the only things that are really part of the original is the motorcycle accident and
Yeah.
people being rabid.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
like the main basic plot of this movie. But with that being said, I still think they did a pretty fucking fun job with this remake.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
definitely like this better than the original. I do.
I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say it too. I thought this was better than the original as well. I thought it was a more modern take on it. I thought it was just significantly more fun, more interesting, had a lot more going on for it. The ending, I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, that was a pretty fucking cool ending in comparison to the original. The original kind of left you wanting a lot more.
Yeah, definitely
Ron's,
did. It definitely did.
Ron's chiming in. The original Rabid was so good at creating a really tense atmosphere and ramped up on paranoia that society was going through because of the virus.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which was also going on in this movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the original wasn't bad. It just, I would rather watch, this one than the original.
Before I jumped on here tonight with you guys, I was watching a video kind of comparing the original and this one. And if you think about it, the original was directed by Cronenberg, who at the time was going through a divorce, white male atheist. They said then you have the Soskas, who are pansexual twins, kind of looking for, female empowerment in this. I'm like, well, you can definitely see the two different aspects when you watch those films. And I lean more towards liking the more modern film. And that's not knocking Cronenberg's original in any way, because I still will watch that if it's on or if I have it on my shelf. But I'll probably watch this version over that if given the chance.
Right. I'm not saying Cronenberg's version was bad by any means. I enjoyed both versions, but I will say flat out that I think the Soska twins really ramped it up and made it a lot more modern, a lot more gory, way more on the horror side than I say the original one was more of just like a psychological thriller styled movie compared to this one, which this one was more of a full blown horror film. Like the Soska Twins remake was basically like if you took the 1970s Rabid and mixed it with like 28 Days Later, like it just ramped it the fuck up. They, the infected with the what would you call it? The rabid people was significantly better done in general. The way they took and may I also say this too, and I'm pretty sure that a friend of the show actually did the special effects for this movie too. I'm sitting there trying to look at it. I know he's definitely in the same area as them.
I know they said it was Master Effects, I believe.
Yes, that's what I thought. Master Effects, and Todd Masters has actually been on the show before. Really, really nice guy as well. It's weird thinking that the guy who did this also did the effects for like Slither, Sonic, the remake of Chucky.
I love Slither.
Not to mention
awesome.
all the Tales from the Crypt stuff.
Yeah.
He's an amazing special effects artist. So them having somebody like him on board too really helped ramp this up and take the what would you call the thing from the first one, kind of like the armpit poker, and ramp it up to a fucking million on this one.
Oh yeah, it was so much worse in this movie, and like I couldn't stand it in the original. I was like, oh, that's fucked up, but it's Cronenberg. What are you coming to expect? I mean, this is the guy who gave James Woods a chest vagina.
Oh yeah.
And this new one, it's like, oh, it's even more penile, which is really kind of fucked.
Yeah,
way more phallic and penile looking. I'm like, okay, it makes sense though. It does make sense.
Right. Ron says Cronenberg won't do anything that isn't something that could actually happen scientifically. I don't know about that. Like, I'd like
Man,
to see
I
the
believe
science.
anything these days.
I guess the only thing I could think of is I'd like to see the scientific proof on his armpit poker thing. Like,
I immediately was thinking, well, wait a minute. Could I physically change my hand into a cancer gun like from Videodrome? I don't know.
right.
I don't
The possibilities are endless.
Basis for that.
Right.
2022.
Like,
you never know.
No, that's true. You never know. Yeah. I guess like with this one though too, like other than just it being ramped up like crazy, I thought there was a lot more to the story as well. I thought it got a little bit deeper. I thought you actually got to you got to see more of the changes occurring in Rose and what that was doing to her. Which I
Right.
thought that was a really cool aspect of the film.
I
thought it was
enjoyed seeing her change because in the beginning she's very timid and shy because of what happened. You can see like the scars on her face from whatever happened before. She's kind of insecure, doesn't want to be around a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Post accident, post surgery, she's more assertive, more dominant. She's more secure in herself and not taking any crap from anybody.
She becomes
Physically
badass.
looks different, which I will say the one trope I didn't like was let's give her glasses and make her complexion a little splotchy, and she's unattractive now. I'm like, doesn't really work for her because you can still see she's a really attractive woman. That's throughout everything, so I understand why.
Right.
Right.
With this one right here, they even kind of like hint at it in the original, like, because when she wakes up from her coma and she's like, I feel so much stronger, and like, I guess it's kind of like their way of symbolizing the changes going on, not just inside of her but outside as well.
Yeah.
I guess like, we're talking about stem cells and stuff in this one, so this right here kind of like ramps it up with that too, because like, that's like a controversial topic just on its own to begin with, and for them to take it the way that they did and turn it into that, I thought was just first off, I thought it was super fucking clever. I thought it was a way of taking the Cronenberg version and, like I said, just ramping it way the fuck up and doing it in a semi-realistic way where you could, because with stuff like stem cell research, like, yeah, there is research being done on it and stuff, and they're going to continue doing research with it and everything, but we really don't know the effects of everything with it still at this point. So, and especially 2019, that's a few years ago, 3 years ago from now. So, I mean, the whole concept of it in general, it's just really cool the way they went about it. I just thought it was
I had no problem with the explanation in that. All I'm getting at is the trope of, oh, she wears glasses, now she doesn't. Their explanation worked, so I was fine with that. It's just when I see that old trope and I'm like, once they explained it, I'm like, okay, we're good. I get why you did it, but it's just there's a little part of me that's still like,
right. It's kind of like Freddie Prinze Jr. to come out.
Well, it kind of has the Catwoman vibe from Batman Returns. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Where she kind of looks very similar to a way. I mean, both women are beautiful, so yeah, it's hard to make them look not like. I mean, fuck, Michelle Pfeiffer was fucking hot before she was fucking Catwoman. Like, how do you do that?
Know.
You know what I mean?
I think she only became hot after she became Catwoman. I saw the movie too.
Michelle Pfeiffer's always been hot. All right. Don't you bet, Math her, man. Goddamn, I'll get all mad and shit. Who are you, J.R. Spitzer?
Oh no! Now we can tell where you're from.
Yeah, that's where my complete Kentucky boy comes out. Yeah, bad mouth of Michelle Pfeiffer. Come on.
Oh,
have some respect.
Joking anyway. So I guess we basically talked about this movie. Like I said, we don't want to really spoil it too much. But I do want us all to be able to go around and tell us, your final thoughts on it, as well as a rating on this film. Now, Jeff, this is your first time here. I'm sure you've seen the shows before, though. But we always go from a 1 to 10 rating, with 10 being the highest. Chuck, how would you like to lead this one out?
Do it. Oh, like my opinion on it? Is it my turn first?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's have you go first.
Well, I didn't prepare a speech. Oh, no, I love this one. You know me. I'm picky about movies, newer movies and shit. Like, I'm always like, okay, is it going to be good? Is it going to be complete shit?
Right.
So I'm really picky about them. And like I said, I really enjoyed this one. I thought this one was very well done. I was never bored. I was always intrigued. The gore in it was really nice. Was kind of a breath of fresh air. And so this is really good that we did this one, because I had never seen it before, and had been wanting to watch it and needed a reason like to actually sit down and fucking watch it. I think it's a really good movie, and it's like I kind of feel the same way about this one, talking about the original and remake and all that shit. I kind of feel the same way about it like I do Hills Have Eyes. And I like the originals, but I prefer the remakes over those. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about this one. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it's a good one. Everyone should check it out.
Now, just curious, where would you rate this one?
Man, honestly, I think I'd have to probably give it. Fuck, I'll give it a 9. I'm feeling nice.
That's pretty fair. That's pretty fair.
It was done. It was doing really good.
Right, Jeff. Would you like to go next, or do you want me to?
No, I can go. Why not?
All right, I'll let you go ahead.
So yeah, I went into this having seen the original, so I knew there were going to be some things like it. But man, I had a lot of fun watching this. The special
definitely.
effects alone, the practical effects. I'm a sucker for practical effects. I'm a child of the '80s, so when I see something that's done well and I can't tell that it's an appliance and prosthetics, I'm all for it. CG augmentation along with practical is the best way to go, and this movie pulled it off perfectly. I thought the story was solid. I mean, I did kind of complain about the glasses thing, but they redeemed themselves, so it's kind of a moot point right now.
Right.
The acting was solid. The story was solid. I did appreciate. I don't know if you guys have seen Dead Ringers.
Yes.
The surgery scene with all the red gowns. I was like, oh, Dead Ringers. Immediately, I knew what it was. I was like, oh, nice little touch. And, being a big wrestling fan, I kind of marked out when CM Punk showed up. I knew he was in it, but I didn't know where.
Right, yeah.
Role, but still, he was fine for what he was called on to do. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
He fit it perfectly.
Yeah. He fit the douchebag asshole aspect, and when you kind of know who he is outside of that, you're like, that's really not who you are, but you're really good at it.
Right. Or is he?
I'll elaborate on what I thought about that part of it when I go to talk.
But yeah, I enjoyed this. I would recommend it to friends and family,
Now, where would you rate this, though, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm going to have to agree with Mr. Chuck there and give it a 9. Solid 9.
Nice. Now, I will say first off that this movie actually has a 5.2 on IMDb. So I just want to throw that out there, which baffles the fucking hell out of me. But it seems like every time I watch a movie and I enjoy it, it's usually in between like a 3 and a 5 anyway. I think most critics
Well, it is IMDb, so
just need to get their hands chopped
Right.
off so they can't type on IMDb no more. But let's see.
Critics don't matter, in my opinion, anymore.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't at all.
Fuck them.
They said Super Mario Brothers, the movie, sucked. Fuck them. That was a great movie. I will say now, I guess going off what you were talking about there with CM Punk, like as somebody who was a wrestling fan when I was younger, to give reference, my wrestling fandom was all around the Attitude Era.
All right.
Okay, that was
Um,
my teenage years in high school, so I get it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it ended shortly afterwards, and everything. It didn't last too long. I will fully admit that. Every once in a while, I'll get caught up and watch some of it, but not enough to really understand what's going on with the elaborate soap opera that it has become over the years.
Right.
I will say, not knowing too much about CM Punk, he played that role so well that you would almost think that that's really how he is. I don't
Yeah.
know if that is 100% true, but I mean,
Hey, he looks like a douchebag. So
yeah, he looked like the kind of guy that would, sit there and try to hit on women the way he did and kind of call them out for if they didn't give him attention. Like, I don't know the guy personally, but like he played that role so well, it was believable to me. Like, yeah, that's
Maybe
just how he
people in
is,
Chicago are. I don't know.
right? Well,
I
like
mean, he's from
it
Chicago.
makes me wonder,
so who
like,
knows?
did Jin and Sylvia be like, "Hey, we didn't write you any lines, just go be yourself," and he did
yeah,
it really good. But
there's a
like,
hot woman in front of you. Go ahead and be a piece of shit. Go ahead.
right? I don't know how that went with them and everything. I don't know much
Here's a
about the
Pepsi.
dude, but like I said, he played that role so well. I was like, this is kind of believable. Um, I will say though, with this movie, I enjoyed it a lot. I mean a fuck ton. This was a really really fun movie. Comparing it to the original, the effects were better. The story had more to it to keep you interested longer. I will say, like, I do like the original one for sure. There's nothing about the original that I can like dislike. I will say that this right here is just a better take on the story itself and the premise, I guess you would say, because the
Yeah.
story is a lot different, but the premise is the exact same. Some of it about the original, I really like that they didn't keep in this one. Like in the original, when you have them going around collecting the bodies and stuff. With this one, it's kind of just implied at the end that they euthanized everybody that was rabid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, which actually to me was a lot more messed up.
say that again.
It was a lot more messed up. Just the implication of, hey, everyone was euthanized that was rabid. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, fuck.
Right.
And it said so calmly.
Right. Well, I mean, they did it like a newscaster way, which, would have to be done like that because they're trying to make it where people aren't freaking out about it. You got to
Right. Yeah.
keep bad news calm so you don't have a mass hysteria freak out type situation going on you. But I mean, overall, though, I thought this movie did such a better job than the Cronenberg version of the film. I don't know exactly what he thinks of it. But I mean, I think the Soska twins fucking nailed this movie. And me personally, I would say that this right here has probably become my favorite Soska twins movie after watching this one. I was American Mary for the longest time before it, but I mean, this one was just a significantly more entertaining film.
Yeah.
I would say that I would also give this one a 9 as well. Fuck, you got Todd Masters doing effects, and Todd Masters he runs Master Effects. You're not called Master if it's not that good,
Master.
He's fucking great. I love the dude. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. Like, I love this film. I highly recommend people go and check it out. If you're somebody who's like, oh, I don't like remakes, fuck remakes, blah blah blah, then
Get your head out of your ass and go see the movie.
Right? Yeah. Watch something before you have an opinion on it. Otherwise, you look like an asshole.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not all remakes are to be shit on. There's a lot of them
Some
are
of
a
them are
lot
really
better
good.
than you give credit for.
Yep.
Right. This is one of them where I'd say flat out this is significantly better than the original. And the original's not bad, but that's just saying how good of a movie this is. And Ron says, I mean, his last name is Masters. He goes, That could be why it's called Master Effects. Just saying, maybe, or maybe it's because he is the master of effects. You don't know. You weren't
Seeing the
there.
effects in this movie, I'd say he's a master.
He's pretty damn
Master.
good, that's for sure.
And there's so many there's so many other people who I would have seen taking a shortcut and doing everything CG, and it would have just taken me out of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great CG out there. Like, I like the way Two-Face looked in The Dark Knight. It doesn't take me out of the stories. I'm like, ultimately, it's a comic book film, so it's just a little more
Right.
realistic than most.
Yeah, I like that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
for
But
somebody
there are
who's into
some-
fantasy movies, look at like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Those are some of the biggest movies ever. Fucking Star Wars. How much
Yeah.
CGI is in Star Wars? And you're talking about one of the most fucking, biggest franchises ever done.
Yeah.
So I
mean,
agree
the
with
Marvel
you
films
completely.
have had whole characters that are CG based, and
Yeah.
Right.
like, first time I saw Thanos walk out in Infinity War, I was like, holy shit, that looks okay. I'm all in. And there's other
Right.
movies that give you a full CG character, and granted, it could be years back, but you're like, ooh, hello, PS2.
Yeah, really.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Ron says, yeah, not all remakes are Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, well, that
That's
is
a
one
good
thing
one.
me and Ron agree on. Zack Snyder's kind of a piece of shit director. I don't like him at all. I am not a
Yeah,
Zack Snyder fan.
I like the remake actually, but the original is the best.
I think the remake is better, not so much because of Zack Snyder, but because it's a script from James Gunn. So
Right.
it was an adaptation done by James Gunn, directed by Snyder. So
Yeah.
like, okay, Snyder, he kind of had the reins drawn in a little bit on Dawn of the Dead, and I think Watchmen was actually one of his better films. I haven't seen too much of his stuff, but let's just say Man of Steel and that shit.
Oh,
No,
Army of
I'm
the Dead
fine.
was horrible. I didn't
Oh,
like
Army
that.
Army of the Dead is something you have somebody watch if you want them to leave your house.
Yeah, I've never seen
Instead of
it.
just telling them get the fuck out, that you put on Army of the Dead and you're like, hey, want to watch this? They'll be like, no, I gotta go. Bye.
That's the code. That's a good idea actually. I'm gonna put this movie on. That means go.
Exactly. I
Why is that movie over 2 hours anyway? What the fuck was he thinking?
he wasn't at all. And Rob says, so you're saying it's better than the Nightmare on Elm Street remake?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Let's not even do
That is a remake, I will say, didn't have to be done at all.
No.
It didn't need to be done. I feel bad for Jackie Earle Haley because he did what he could with what he was given, and he was kind of the best part of that film, considering you needed a different person to play Freddy.
Yeah.
I mean, I own it because I'm a completist, so I'll own every version and every sequel to Nightmare on Elm Street. But
No, I completely understand that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And Ron says the version of the script on screen was like the 5th version that Gunn had nothing to do with. I don't know much about that personally.
I don't either. I just remember that James Gunn was put out as having written it, so that's all I knew.
Who knows? I will just say that I also know that I don't like Zack Snyder. I like Zack Snyder as much as I like Jason Blum, and I don't really care for either.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Let's put it
I
this
know
way.
Chuck is a huge Jason Blum fan ever since he
I'm
saw
not a
the
huge
latest
I'm not a
remake
huge
of
fan.
Black Christmas.
I'm not
That-
God, shut up.
That was-
I'm not a huge fan, but I do like a considerable amount of his stuff.
right.
But just just put out in his name, like that. But some of it's shit and some of it's good. You just I don't know, you have this utter hatred for that guy. I just don't get it.
I will say Blumhouse has done more good than bad in my opinion. So when I see that something is Blumhouse and I really like it, I'm like, okay, that's in the positive. They've done more positive in my eyes than negative.
I don't know.
Good argument there.
All right, fine.
We're all allowed to like what we like, and we're all allowed to hate what we hate. It's
right. Like
it's
the
all
Craft
good.
Legacy was. No.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment.
Or Fantasy Island.
I mean, that was actually that was.
I did watch that, and I was like,
It wasn't
this is
horrible.
it wasn't horrible, but I'm like, this is taking the TV show to a whole different place.
Yeah, it was not. It was very dark.
Yeah,
and I don't remember that. I don't remember the show being that dark.
no, the show had its moments of like, oh, okay, but then it was like morality plays, like, oh, should you really keep on being this person, or should you do this? Like everyone
Yeah.
learned a lesson at the end. It wasn't. They're bringing
The pain,
my
boss.
to life.
I don't know. There's just like when you look through all of the movies that Blumhouse has done and put out, like I'd say there's a very low percentage of them that I personally like, and I will say my favorite Blumhouse film that was even done by them is probably the Creep series.
I like the Creep movies.
Those.
Confession time. I have not seen them.
Oh, really?
I've heard nothing but good things, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. So
yeah,
first one's the best.
Duplass, right?
Yeah,
Duplass. Yeah, they're good. I will say I did not care for the Gallows. I did not care for like Area 51.
I like the Gallows.
I didn't like the Ouija movies they did.
I liked Ouija 1.
I didn't care for Oculus either.
I liked Oculus. I thought it was an interesting thing. I thought it was an interesting story plot.
I just didn't care for it personally. And then
Oculus was fun.
I just didn't care for it. But then every time I really want to sit down and think about it, it's like he ruined everything with Black Christmas.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, like he should have just burned down his whole production studio. He made the newest Black Christmas
so bad.
movie.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah,
have you seen that one, Jeff?
No, I've heard reviews. I've listened to in-depth synopsis on it. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. It's definitely not for me. It's not targeted at me, so I'm good not watching it.
I watched it because I was bored, and I was just like, well, how bad could it really be? And I was like, wow, that was a piece of shit.
When you sit there and say the remake is better than this one, the first remake they did several years back,
it was good. The first one was good. The one,
I personally don't believe that I should be able to go anywhere and say that I do or don't like something unless they've actually took the time to watch it.
True.
And
True.
I strongly feel that way. And with that being said, the Black Christmas remake is a huge steaming pile of shit.
Steaming pile. I mean, it's gross.
So bad.
It's bad.
Like, you should check it out, Jeff, because I'm curious on what you would think about that.
I probably will, because I like to seek out these. When I hear something is real bad, I'm like, let's test the waters and see. And then I walk away going, oh, they were right. That was
are you a drinking man, Jeff?
I tend to dabble every now and then,
Okay, well, I want you to grab a fifth of whiskey the day you decide you're going to watch this movie. And about the first 10 minutes of it is when you're going to want to grab that bottle. Because I was like, oh, it's going to be a wild ride. This movie already sucks. Yeah, so you might as well get drunk on top of it.
Enough? Are you sure a fifth?
No. Get a 6-pack just in case, too.
A half gallon. Just go for a straight.
A half gallon might work. I don't know. You don't want to kill the guy. He's gonna be one to chug it down. Believe me, that movie sucks.
Maybe I should just go right to the Moonshine or the Everclear.
All three. That's cool.
Probably not a horrible idea.
I mean, that way you can see it, realize you hated it, and forget all about it the next day.
Right.
You'll just know. You'll remember you hated it. That's all you need to know. See?
Well, if I want to do that, then I should drink some. God damn! I just drew a blank on what the beer is. I've had it. See, this is what happens.
Just take heroin.
No, I am not going that far down.
It's a pretty bad movie.
He says Ron's favorite Blumhouse is Get Out, hands down, full stop.
Yeah.
I understand the importance of the film, but I personally think it's overrated.
I personally need to watch it again. I've only watched it once, and I wasn't fond of it, but I feel like I would like it a lot better than watching Us, because I fucking hate that movie. So.
Well, I think it's just one of those movies where just it had the same kind of importance as Black Panther, so I get the importance of the film, but I think the film as a horror movie doesn't hold up.
Right.
Personally.
Get Out for me. I think it's solid and it holds up for me. And there's always something new that Because I'm one of those, if I'm rewatching a movie, I'm watching other aspects to see what's going on in the background. And I've picked up on things throughout Get Out that have made it a more enjoyable watch for me. Like, there's certain things where the people around the auction, they're saying certain things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time in the theater. You are fucked. And
right,
like,
yeah.
Okay, this being said, we are three white people sitting here. Most white people are fucked up, man, and that movie shows just how fucked up white people can get.
Well, no, I will fully admit that I completely understand that. I
Oh,
just,
we're all
like,
fucked up.
me, like, as a
fucked up. I'm
peer,
just saying, some white people can get really fucked up too.
no, you're right. I'm just saying, like, as a pure horror fan, it didn't have enough of the horror element in it for me to be happy with it.
It's more of a suspense thriller kind of thing.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't consider it even a horror film. And me personally, I basically just watch, for the most part, horror movies. Minus some fantasy films, but, like, let's be honest, like, there wasn't no kung fu in that movie, so that didn't get me there either.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if they fucking would have had them doing kung fu and Get Out, maybe I would have liked it a lot more.
I mean, the only thing I watch is horror documentaries and porn, and nothing in there really like kept me on that one. I wasn't crazy about it. I didn't hate it.
If you had to break those down in three groups like you did, right, and give each one of them a percentage of how much you've watched of each, where would you rate porn? I have to ask. Obviously,
it's number one, buddy. Number one.
It's like I watch 98% porn, 1% horror. When Justin makes me watch a movie,
I watch horror porn parodies. Those are fun.
Oh God, you would. You would.
Like, this ain't the Munsters.
Oh God,
Edward Penis Hands
that I'm kind of scared to see. Rob says Black Christmas is so bad, like non-redeemable bad.
No, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's a piece of shit. We could do a whole episode and just say about how much we hate that movie because it's that bad.
We touched on it a lot when we did the episode on the original Black Christmas.
Yeah.
But anyways,
which is a national treasure of a movie.
It is. It's right up there with Super Mario Brothers. And
no, it's much better. Oh God, dude, move on.
All right. Well, anyways, man, we're definitely got to start wrapping stuff up, dude. Jeff, dude, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for checking out this movie, dude. I greatly appreciate it. I've shared your links with the show and everything. So if you got time, go check out some of his links. Join his group. Email him at skewereduniversepodcast@gmail.com. If you saw him on here, email him and just give him shit. Be like, hey,
give me shit.
Email him and tell him to watch the old, like the newest Black Christmas remake, and just keep it going until he actually watches it.
Just give him ideas of how much whiskey he should drink.
Follow him on Twitter. I mean, all the links are going to be in the show notes as well. They're shared on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. So check out everything he has going on, dude. Jeff, like I said, man, thank you so much. It's always a blast having somebody new.
Thanks for having me. This was awesome. This was a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun. This was a good episode. Yeah, man.
I'm happy you liked it.
This episode was fun. I'm enjoying it, man.
Oh yeah, bro.
Well, I'm really happy that you're liking it. That's for sure. Chuck, do you got anything that you want to add before we get out of here?
I do, actually. Just to give everybody a heads up that might be watching that gets a hold of me somehow or whatever. My Facebook is having some issues. I can't get into my account. Think I was hacked or some shit. I have one more little thing I could possibly do to get into my account before I have to start a new one. So hit me up on Instagram if you actually want to get a hold of me, because that's the only way I can get a hold of me right now.
Right. And if you need help finding him on Instagram, feel free to message the show over at Tales from the Podcast on Facebook or wherever that you need to. I will definitely help guide you in the right direction.
Right.
One of the things that I definitely want to share with everybody before we go is next month we're going to be starting the Kickstarter for our comic book Tales of Shock and Terror. Actually, I got one of the hoodies on right now. It has a logo in the front as well as in the back. I am sharing the shop chat right now through Twitch YouTube, and Facebook. So check out our shop. It's an easy way to sit there, help support us on our journey. And, once the comic book has our Kickstarter going and everything, this merch shop is disappearing. So if you want any gear for Tales of Shock and Terror, I definitely suggest getting them while they're available. Because as soon as the comic book comes out, we have no reason to raise the money. Which I know kind of just sounds weird. Like, why wouldn't you just want to raise money all the time? It's like, because I really don't give a fuck. I just want to make sure this comic book gets done.
I like to raise money.
Yeah. I understand.
Like, totally excited about it. Totally excited about it.
Now we're eventually gonna have to get you on and do Idiocracy just because I love that fucking movie.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. I love
really?
That.
I didn't think it was that funny.
I think it's too realistic.
Maybe that's what it is.
I think it's the
grown on me over time, and on more recent viewings, I'm like, God, this hits too close to home now, but I'm still laughing my ass off. But Jesus.
Yeah.
That's an awesome show, guys. Enjoy the weekend. Safe travels to all. Thanks, Rob, for joining us on this one, dude. Really appreciate the views, dude. And hope you have a safe weekend as well. So with that being said, man, check out our fucking shop. Check out some stuff that we got going on. Keep an eye out, Tales of Shock and Terror. Got some comic book stuff going on. Go check out Skewered Universe Podcast. He is pretty much on every fucking platform. I personally listen on Stitcher. I know he's on Apple, pretty much everywhere, correct?
Yeah, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, and Audible. I figured, what the hell, might as well go ahead and try to get out there wherever I can. So looking at if you see me looking over, I'm looking at a list. There's other ones too, like Player FM, if that's your thing. I mean, use your podcatcher of choice. Look up Skewered Universe, and if we're there, listen. If we're not, go somewhere else.
Right. And as my
words to live by,
personal advice with this one is, I personally say, give everybody like a 2 to 3 episode listen. And this is one of those shows where you listen to that first time and it's a little different. And you're like, I'm not sure. And then by the second and third episode, you're like, I fucking love this format. This is one of those, it's not a typical podcast. And I definitely want to make sure people know that going in, just because it's so much different. It's a whole new take on it. And it's really fucking fun, dude. I've given you many compliments just talking to you before all this,
weird.
Dude.
It's kind of weird because I haven't had really anyone tell me anything, save a couple of close friends who have listened on occasion. So to hear somebody who's been doing this for a while give me positive feedback, like, hey, I enjoy it, that makes me happy. It makes me want to keep on going.
Oh yeah, man.
That's awesome, man.
More content, so.
And
we do our typical banter in the beginning, kind of talk about things we've done, and then it's pretty much right into the show.
Right. And hey, man, you're killing it, dude. To keep it up for sure. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna be doing Tales from the Crypt, episode 5 from season 5. The episode with Brad Dourif. The Brass Nurses. It's a good one.
What was that laugh?
That wasn't me, was it?
That was you.
I don't know.
Whatever. I don't know.
I think me and Jeff were laughing at the same time.
Maybe that's what it was. It sounded funny. Whatever. I laughed.
So anyways, with that being said, the crypt is
closed.